everyone, this is Arturo Bilia for FOGS, the Foundation for Global Governance and Sustainability. Today in our series, Changemakers Around the World, we are welcoming Brian Dean, founder and CEO of Eco-Warrios, a very special video game. Hi, Brian. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Pleasure.
Before talking about the actual game, could you tell us a bit about you and your background? You have not always been in the environmental sector, right?
No, not at all. So if you want, I started my career, I was working for Vogue magazine. So I was actually into fashion before. I did my internship in France at Vogue Paris. And then, I moved to India. I was working as an assistant photo editor for Vogue India. And if after some time, being in fashion, but I decided to move towards multimedia. So then I did a master's in multimedia, and that's where I learned how to do programming, coding, and development. And it's actually the beginning of my journey into, if you want, development. Started in India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. And do you consider yourself as an entrepreneur now?
Definitely. Yeah. So if you want the company, I've started with my wife. So it's Panda and Wolf. If you want, I'm a bit the representation of a wolf, and she's the panda, which is also for us the representation of a yin and yang. We try to mix, the creativity, but also, the business-wise as well. So that's how we came up with a name, the company. And so even though we started in 2017, Panda and Wolf started in Mauritius in 2017. Today we are a holding company with different subsidiaries in tourism, real estate, education, environment, and training as well.
Nice. I really like the idea of the panda and the wolf, the yin and the yang, complementary people. Yeah, that's very good.
Exactly.
And would you even consider yourself as a social entrepreneur?
Definitely. Everything that we try to do, we have a huge place for environment and social impact in everything that we are doing, whether it is about the Eco-Warrios project or other projects that we do. Recently, we opened a developing school in Mauritius, so we teach kids about development, coding, and information technology. And we made sure that 50% of all the classrooms, so all the students that we get per class, comes from difficult background, difficult social background, and so we offer them scholarships for the class. So 50% of all our classes comes under a scholarship that we provide to them. We make sure that environment and social impact is at the heart of everything we do.
Wow, wonderful. So about this, let me ask you a very simple but at the same time difficult question. What is, according to you, wrong in our world today regarding the globalization system and its impact on the environment?
For me, if you want to it's a very interesting question actually. We keep thinking and discussing about that, with a team and everything. We tend to see that in general, companies, businesses, the globalization, movement went onto, profit making, focus, onto making more money, selling more goods, getting the clients and customers to consume more. And today we're seeing that the cycle is coming back, that every big companies, that have invested so much into their product, into globalization in general, today they have to spend 2, 3, 4 times more into environment. We are seeing that in the beginning of the year, I read an article that I saw that PepsiCo have invested millions and millions of dollars into making new, if you want, containers for their drinks. So we are seeing that even though they spend so much onto making their brand known, making consumer using and buying their products, today they have to spend even more just because we have to now take care of the environment that they are evolving in. So I'm saying that at the end of the day, it should have been the balance since the beginning. If everything was started with an environmental impact assessment, on a long run about any type of product and services that was made, it would have been way less costly for the businesses on the long run.
Mm-hmm. Right, and let's stay in the environmental sector. You know, last weekend we celebrated the 5th anniversary of the Paris Agreement, so the global framework to avoid dangerous climate change. If you're familiar with the agreement, what's your opinion on this agreement and on what we have achieved in the last 5 years?
I think that the agreement, so I don't know the complete thing about it, so I read a couple of articles about it, but definitely I think that it's a good start. Those are things, you know, that for me, you know, like I started hearing about that at least, you know, like 15, 18 years ago. The first person I heard about, you know, like, let's say, you know, like telling people that they should be conscious about the environment was Al Gore. And I think it was in the 2005, 2006, around that time. And we were saying that today, nearly, you know, like 15 years ago, that this is coming forward. 5 years ago, the Paris Agreement, you know, like came in where countries started to realize that, and now they're starting, you know, like to make things about it. But I'm thinking that, you know, there has been whistleblowers, you know, like which has been telling and informing about those stuff for at least 15, 20 years. It's nice that right now people are getting that conscious environmental consciousness about everything happening. But I think that it shouldn't have been, you know, like a special accord shouldn't have been needed for it to happen. It should have been part of every country, every business, every individual should have been respectful of the environment and understand that everything that we consume or we do is from the environment or in the environment. And maintaining it is, you know, like not only beneficial for us, but for our entire generation and surrounding.
Yeah, that sounds very logic. And about this eco-consciousness that you talked about, so you have designed this video game that is eco-conscious, a true learning tool, we can say. So this is the game Eco-Warrios. At Fox, we consider gamification in learning as let's say a core tool for the future educational systems. Is that your opinion too? And what gave you actually this idea of Eco-Warriors?
Definitely, I agree with what you're telling me, you know, like in terms of eco-consciousness and gamification. So for me, you know, like on one side, you know, like I'm a gamer at heart. I've grown up, you know, like with Super Mario, Crash Bandicoot, and different games, you know, like since the beginning. And then when I started learning development and coding, so I started learning and did my own games because I was like, oh, that could be nice. Let's try to develop here and there and X, Y, Z stuff. And when I started understanding, you know, like that eco-consciousness, you know, like what really made me realize, you know, like the need of making a game like Eco-Warriors was that every month I was getting, you know, like email campaigns or about cleanups. So whether it is, you know, like a street cleanup, neighborhood cleanup, or beach cleanup, companies coming together, individuals coming together for, you know, like picking up plastics or rubbish or trash everywhere. And I was like, it's weird, but every month I'm getting a new newsletter or a new email about a new cleanup campaign. And so at the end of the day, you know, like whether or not I'm cleaning this month, but next month there's still a new cleanup campaign about the same place, new trash coming. So the issue was not about cleaning up, the issue was about educating. And then we started making market research and we found out that it was very difficult, or it would have took a lot of time to change the habits of adults. But it would have been much more easier to directly inculcate, if you want, the eco-consciousness mindset to kids. If they grow up, you know, like we found out that if they grew up, you know, like basic actions like, you know, like waste sorting or recycling was made, you know, like as normal actions and became a habit for kids, they would have grown up with those habits and this would have been normal their entire life. So that's when, you know, like we decided, you know, to work on a game that has a mix of history, geography, but mainly focused around environment, recycling, and this is what we did. Using the process of gamification, we teach kids, like through the game, how to, pick up trash in the environment, sort it in different bins, and they get to learn how their actions actually affect or improve the environment around them. And this is how Eco-Warriors came into creation.
Right. And so this game, is it more like a Mario Kart game or a Crash Bandicoot game? How would you describe it as a gamer?
As a gamer, it's a platformer game. It's closer to Super Mario than to Mario Kart, let's say. It's more about the adventure. So the game, as of today, we've launched Eco-Warriors in Rodrigues Island and Mauritius Island. And the game is available in 358 primary schools. It's being played today by 89,000 kids, more than 89,000 kids every day. We've been able to get a partnership with the Ministry of Education in Mauritius, where the Eco-Warriors game is actually being used by the teachers as a tool, an educative tool. So they learn environment, recycling, waste sorting in school through the Eco-Warriors game. And we are seeing that there's the impact, the change has been amazing. We are seeing kids who are 7, 8 years old, understanding the purpose of sorting their waste, understanding the purpose of not throwing trash in the environment, and of course being able to tell their own parents, yeah, if you throw a plastic bottle in the environment, it may take 1,000 years for it to degrade. So it's better to put it in the trash. And of course, they're starting to learn that when they're throwing a plastic bottle in the trash, we have to separate the cap from the wrapping and the plastic bottle itself. So already kids are doing those kind of small exercises in their schools, which is amazing to see 7, 8 years old doing that today where that adults don't actually do it.
It is amazing. And about that, how did you manage to convince the national authorities that a video game could be a good learning tool? Because you're working with public schools?
Public and private schools.
Public and private. So how did you manage to convince the national authorities or the private schools?
So in the beginning, when we were launching Eco-Warriors game, so in September 2019, we sent a request, we wanted to have a support of a UNESCO about this project, not knowing that if you want, this was one of a kind. We know that in Mauritius, in the Southern African region, there hasn't been any game made about environment and ecology, but little did we know that there actually was no game on the entire African continent, no other European continent, which has, environment and ecology education in one platform. So we just, looking for support from the UNESCO, from the UN. We actually got a patronage from them, and they informed us that this is one of a kind. It has never been done on the African continent. And with the UNESCO patronage, it was kind of, if you want, easy to get a partnership with the local authorities. They saw it as a pride themselves that one game that was made in Mauritius in an African country received such kind of patronage from the UN, and they were ready then to partner and promote this game in all schools.
I guess you gain some credibility with this patronage of UNESCO.
Exactly.
And could you describe this patronage of UNESCO? What is it exactly?
So recognition
or support, financial support?
No, it's more about the recognition and communication support. So we preferred to spread the word about Eco-Warriors, making more countries and more kids know about the game and play the game, rather than just getting a financial support, from the UN. Our goal was not to make money out of Eco-Warriors, but it was really to educate kids, educate the next generation about the impact on environment. For me personally, I feel that there's no point for me personally, today to get millions of dollars if tomorrow my kids won't be able to enjoy it because they have the environment that they are living in is not suitable for them. So I prefer to have an environment where my kids can grow old actually and enjoy themselves, be healthy, rather than just me getting some money right now. So the goal of Eco-Warriors has never been about making money, but always about education and environmental protection.
Mm-hmm. And I guess you have, but have you met any major setbacks? What were the main challenges that you have faced as a social entrepreneur with this particular project?
Definitely, already, like when we were developing the game, it was a challenge for us. We started working on the Eco-Warrios game since August 2018. We completed the game 1 year later in around August 2019, and then we launched it in September 2019. So for a year, it was for us how, a challenge was how are we, if you want, incorporating the history and geography of the area, of environment, of the island, included with gamification process into teaching kids about environmental protection, about recycling and waste sorting, but also to mix it with the actual school curriculum. So that in the game, what we did, we added as well small pop-ups information about the environment, about recycling and everything. And those pop-ups are actual information that comes into the national exams at the end of each year. So it was a challenge for us to mix, all those elements into it. It took us a lot of time. We had to work closely with different teachers from different schools, their way of teaching the kids. We work with psychologists, kids psychologists, to understand what is the cycle of, let's say, absorption cycle for kids, how long the level have to be, what kind of animation, the colors, the music. So it did take us a lot of time to research about it before being able to make the game.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that the teacher you worked with, were they open to this project from the beginning, or the contrary? Because a lot of people think that kids are too much on screens for these days, and that they should interact more between themselves. So did you feel that teachers were, or parents were, a bit against this idea of having a video game to learn?
Not at all. So we made a lot of focus groups and market research with teachers and with parents as well. And if you want, majority of the parents or the teachers we got, we interviewed and or participated into those focus group. The main thing that they told us was they understand that kids should not spend a lot of time on screens, but they are also conscious that with the technological development, it's impossible not to let kids go to a screen. But what they can do instead is control the information that kids are accessing through screens. So they were even more, many parents, they were happier when kids were actually, getting engaged and playing Eco-Warriors rather than seeing their kids, playing, I don't know, first-person shooter games or, adventure games, killing games, fighting games. So a lot of parents told us directly, they were more happy when their kids were actually playing an adventure game about environment and learning new things about the history or the culture, and of course, recycling and waste sorting, rather than seeing their kids spending 1 hour, 2 hours on their mobile phone playing, some shooter game. So this is the response that we got from them. And if you want, from teachers as well, they were as professionals, they spent a lot of time sometimes in the classrooms trying to make kids understand something in a book which is not interactive, which takes them even more time for the teachers to explain kids and grasp their attention about environment or waste sorting when it actually comes from a textbook. But once we have the Eco-Warriors game with them, the kids can actually see, if a character pick up the trash and then put it in the bins, what happens. So it was more engaging for the kids and actually make the life of a teacher much easier, and the teaching session make it more engaging for them. So on both sides, whether parents or teachers, it was something that was let's say accepted and encouraged.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And what is next now? Any updates scheduled on this game? Any new game, new revolutionary idea?
Definitely. So right now we're currently working on Eco-Warriors 2. So it will be the first Eco-Warriors really is a 2D platformer game, so Super Mario style. And today we're working on a 3D version of Eco-Warriors, which should be launched by August, September of 2021. We got a bit of delay in what we wanted to do because of pandemic, but we are still working on it. And this one will be closer, let's say, to Legend of Zelda or Animal Crossing than the current version of Eco-Warriors. It will be a 3D open world where the kids will not only be able to see the impact of trash on the environment, but also what we included in this version is the health impact on individuals in the game. So the characters, when they will be, like in an environment which is, like polluted or full of trash, they will actually see, the different NPCs or non-playing characters in the game, which have, trouble, like breathing, have breathing issues, or will have, skin lesions issues because of trash and everything. So on the Eco-Warriors too, we are trying to show, like the health impact of living in a polluted environment. So this is what we'll try to add in the second version of the game.
Wow, very exciting. And this will be meant for schools too?
Exactly. Yeah,
okay.
It
Wow.
will be meant for schools, generally. And what we are trying to make is that the second version of Eco-Warriors, so Eco-Warriors 2, will actually start in Europe and will be, kind of a discovery adventure. So starting from Paris, and then we'll discover London and Madrid and Barcelona and all those stuff.
Wow. Well, very, very interesting and exciting projects, I must say. Yeah. So Brian, these are the last moments of our discussion. Is there anything you would like to add? This may be your chance to send a message to our global citizens if you want to.
Definitely. So the message I want to send is, so Eco-Warriors is actually available in English. And so if you have kids, if you want kids, like to either spend less time playing fighting games or killing games, and you want to, as a parent, you want to give your kids, something that interests them, but something which is also, eco-conscious, please, do download for free Eco-Warriors on iOS and Play Store. You can download and use it for free. And what I want to say as well is, always think about what legacy you're leaving for your kids. So where we are right now, the planet has been here for millions of years, but it's how we keep it that makes the difference. So this is a message I want to send to people today. Always be careful, and always keep in mind that if you do not take care of the environment that you are living in, so it won't be available for the next generation. And this is what message we're trying to inculcate to kids through Eco-Warriors game.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for this very interesting discussion. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you. You too.
Before closing this session, it is also my job to remind all of you to follow Fogs on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon. And of course, do not hesitate to also follow Eco-Warrios and Panda and Wolf Holding on the social media, to download the game, to spread the word. That's it. It was Arturo Villa for the Foundation for Global Governance and Sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.